Custom and Classic Bike Show in Waterford here was in 1987, run by the Freeways Motorcycle Club. Started off really from a bunch of us getting together back in the late 70s, early 80s, and we all started to ride Harley Davidsons, and every Harley Davidson out there, you won't ever find two the same or looking the same. So customization is an integral part of the Harley Davidson scene anyway. So we all started to do our own little bit of customization and had our bikes looking good. Got a lot of interest from people. It kind of spurred on the starting of a bike show in '87, and that bike show grew to be one of the biggest bike shows in Europe within a period of 5-6 years. The reason people customise bikes, I think, in everybody there's an individual there that wants to express themselves, and it's a medium for people in the motorcycle that ride motorcycles to express themselves and be an individual and say, well, look, this is what I've done to my bike, is a bit of my personality got into that bike. It's not something that I just bought off the shelf. I've put a lot of thought, I've put a lot of creation into this, and this is my little statement, and it's my little bit of individualism.
There's, all over the country, there's people like me who work in their garages, building their bikes, refining their bikes. Many over years who have just one bike and they'll rebuild it and work on it and refine it until it almost becomes an extension of themselves in the end, because they've made it so that it fits them, it suits them, it looks like they want it to look like, and it can stand up in any company, in any show. I suppose the biggest source of satisfaction with driving something that you've created yourself, I suppose it's something that didn't exist and wouldn't exist only for you decided to build it and persevere and see it through to the end. And it's done and it's working properly and it looks well and people admire it, and people whose opinion that matter to you admire it and say that you've done a good job. I think that's the major sense of satisfaction I get, at least.
Well, spray painting is very important to the look of the bike. It gives the overall first impression when you see a bike. So, it can be an individual thing, it can be a personal thing, taste, and it determines the look of the bike completely. And some people like to be individual and stand out from the crowd. So as opposed to buying an original bike with original paintwork that's finished, they come to me with ideas and we get something a different look with the bike. Be it flames or artwork, we'd mix and match that, get some ideas going and sketch and just give a different look, you know what I mean?
There's trends in the custom bike building. If you're actually building all the time and you want to be at the cutting edge, say, of the AMD show which is happening in the RDS, if you want to be on the cutting edge and be in there with a chance to bring a bike to the world finals, you've really got to be up with what's happening on a yearly basis and what's in vogue at the time. But you don't ever know what the judges are requiring that particular year. So if you come up with your creation, I'm sure, if it's good enough, they'll see what you've put into it, because these guys are professional as well,
Obviously, most people are it's a wow factor. Most people are very, very happy. They've only seen it on paper, so when they come in and see their pride and joy gleaming and new coat of paint and freshly polished and everything, so they're very, very happy. So, the aim is to keep the customer happy. So 99.9% of the time, you do get a happy customer. That's what we aim to do. So.
My advice to anyone starting out, I suppose, in the custom scene is go after your dream. Everyone had to start. I started. I remember my first spray job and being terrified that it was going to be good, whether it's going to be good enough and whether people will like it. But you've got to go out, you've got to try, you've got to start somewhere. and you will get better. And it's a great pastime. It's a great way to bring your bike and bring your little creation out.
Anybody starting off thinking of getting into this hobby, my advice would be that there's lots of magazines and the internet for inspiration. There's bike shows and rallies on every weekend once the weather starts getting fine. I'd advise go along to them, look and see what other people are doing, ask questions. Most bikers are generally pretty friendly, and they're glad to ask questions and give advice to someone starting out. That's how I found it anyway. And basically use what you've got, whatever bike, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be something like this. It can be something as simple as a 125 or even less, scooter, anything. Everything can be customised and individualised.